Hi, and welcome to StyleMachine and another quick tutorial. So what I have happening here now is I've just opened up the program here live. Here's the template that we can see, or the device that's in the template. It's also opened up the collective in Max. The two are communicating back and forth because the collective is flashing here and the device within live is lit. That means the two are communicating. And just to quickly see if everything's working, I'm going to click Generate Phrase. Okay. And I'm going to turn that back off. So it did generate something, and the other important aspect was that we could see some white text appear here. That was the communication coming back from the collective into live. So what actually happened there is when I clicked Generate Phrase, it generated some data into the MIDI clips in the first scene right here, and in the green clips you can see are the ones that actually got some information. So if we look at the keys, for example, we can see here it actually generated that information, MIDI clips, and it's being played by the synthesizer here that is in the template itself. So we see that the template consists of some basic live synthesizers, samplers, so that they can get the data that's written into these tracks can be played right away. You can, of course, substitute your own synthesizers and instruments in here. That's not a problem at all. You just have to make sure that they're responding to the same notes, specifically the drums. So just to go over then what is going on here is that every time I click Generate Phrase, it's going to look to whatever is in the corpus right here and use that information to generate some new material for the clip slot. So I'll try that again. So you can see it's generated the 8 measures here in that first scene. I can do it again and it'll be a completely different phrase that's being generated. And what I have control over is the complexity of the phrase. That's basically the amount of syncopations and complexity of the harmony that's involved, and also the density, which is the amount of material, amount of onsets, the amount of notes that are being generated. This the length comes into play in Generate All. So I can have a very complex phrase, but not very dense at all. And if I click on that, so you can see the only thing that was generated was the drum track, the kick snare, the closed hat, and the open hi-hat part, and a bass part. That's because the density was set very, very low. And if I increase the density and regenerate, you can see now it added in the melodic synth and some pads. So I have some control over what's being generated. Now the next aspect is the corpus that we're looking at. So where is it getting the information on how to generate? Well, it looks here at what is being, what we have selected. So right now I have the breakbeat, the early breakbeat selected. I can add to it the later breakbeat as well, and so we can see that both of them are selected now. Whenever I make a new selection, so let's just turn that off again, you notice there's a little button here, a little highlighted area that says recalculating. So what that means is that the collective has to recalculate its database based upon the selection we've made. So now I'm going to go back to the breakbeat, generate a new phrase. So that was a little subtle addition. So it's taken into account some of the other 12 tunes that are in this corpus right here. Now I can completely change the corpus by switching over to house and then turning off the breakbeat. And now when I generate, I can just click the clear here, and the clear button will just delete any clips that are in my various scenes. And so now when I'm going to generate, it's still going to use the same instruments because instruments are part of the template, but the actual patterns that are going to be generated come from the house database. So you can hear that the big change that you have is in the beat, where you have more 4 of the floor. I'll try that again. Let's decrease the density and decrease the complexity. Hopefully that'll make it a little bit clearer. Cool. So now the last thing we're going to look at is the groove right here. And the groove is just some subtle alterations in velocity and timing when it's written back into the MIDI clips. Right now the groove was selected as breaks, which may be interesting, but considering that we were generating house tracks, maybe it's better to have a house groove attached to it. So now I'll select the house groove, one of the house grooves, but unfortunately the data has already been written. So how can I, if I really like what I have here, just listen to that again, how can I get it to apply this groove to what's written there? So I click on this little add button. So that is now with a house groove, and I can select a different groove, click the A button. Again, these are very, very subtle alterations to the data. Okay, that's all for now, just how to quickly generate something, how the corpuses work, how the groove works, and clearing your data. Bye for now.